see, I didn't scare you this week. See. Hold on. You're muted. Okay, go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
I was prepared. I thought I was prepared until I realized I was muted again. So,
well, see, we're already off to a great start. I hit the wrong intro. Right song, wrong intro. You know
that was dope. What was the difference between the two? What was that one supposed to be for?
It's a little LSU theme, you know. This SEC Bleav show.
No one's complaining. both are dope.
Oh, LSU fans are complaining. Let's not get this twisted. You try to warn them. But here's the truth. We got a lot to talk about. But I'm not going to put this one on Brian Kelly yet. Different year, same problems. Okay, for these LSU Tigers. But nevertheless, we'll get to LSU. We got a lot, Joe. We got a lot to talk about this morning with the SEC. And we'll get into it. Big games this week. Alabama and Texas. You got Georgia coming off just a bar burner against Bo Picks, baby. I mean, go out west, you get worse. You know what I mean? Is that the theme?
Apparently, and Dan Lanning looked pretty rough in his opening debut for Oregon. But like, I don't understand. And the back and forth kind of happened after I started calling out Bo Nix for his performance on Twitter. Like, a lot of SEC fans are like, oh, we knew Bo Nix was bad, but you'd be surprised how many people outside of SEC fans thought Bo Nix was a good quarterback because they've seen the highlights. That's all they've watched. He's never been a good quarterback. He's never done anything good.
Never. I mean, I can't. I don't know if it's appropriate to say on this show, but we're gonna try it. Some people say he's Dookie water. You know, like he just bad, bro. You can't throw that pick up the seam. I mean,
right.
That's Joe. That's day one install. Okay, that's a rip. But you know what? We're getting ahead of ourselves. We'll get into it. Big games today. Cincinnati. South Carolina versus Arkansas. We'll go with Mike Uva. Okay, he'll be coming in to join us for that game. We have our good friend Josh Fisher at 10:15. He'll be coming in. Look, I even got something ready for Josh Fisher. Joe, you ready for this?
Oh, I've got a lot ready for
him. Buddy, they're not back. Okay, like Quinn Ewers is going to get hit so much, his mullet's going to fall off. Okay, like
the delusion this week from Texas fans is rough.
Yeah. Well, see, the problem is they should have never shot that damn cannon through Joe Burrow's jersey, right? Like, It's all been downhill since it. You can't mess with the GOAT. Okay, maybe I'm a little emotional. I'm sorry. It's too early. I get it. But nevertheless, I am emotional about that one. I kind of got mad. We also have Kyler Kerbyson, who covers Tennessee versus Pitt. And then, obviously, everybody's been warning about Jenna this week. So we'll be making our drinks at 9:15. We got a jam-packed show, dude. A jam-packed show. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so, Joe, let's do this. Since we do have a lot to get to, let's pay these bills. Let's get this thing rolling then. Because, I mean, man, what a great – let me ask you this before we get to the break, though.
Yeah.
Was this the best opening week one that you can remember? Because I feel like it was the best week one of college football I ever remember.
Yeah, I think all those games that we got, and I know a lot of them were SEC matchups, but they were all competitive. And me as a Notre Dame fan, I know that is going to be the butt of the joke every single week. That game was at least entertaining. I'm so used to those opening, like, ranked matchups for Notre Dame being blowouts, and it was actually competitive. It was easy to watch, or actually it wasn't easy to watch. It was entertaining to watch until the end.
Is Tommy Rees overrated?
A little bit. I think he's a bit limited with what he's working with, but I can't fault him for. It's kind of like Clemson. Like, they don't have any receivers, so like, how are you supposed to stretch the field if you don't have any receivers?
Huh. Interesting.
Maybe I'm an apologist. We can talk that at some point.
Interesting. There's a guy. Listen, funny. He's about 6'3", crisp 292. Okay, he got on the scale this morning. He might have said that exact same thing last week. Just throwing it out there. Y'all be fine. Y'all are good.
Yeah, I'm not worried.
You shouldn't be, because look, as quarterback's last name. What's his name again?
Tyler Buckner.
Buckner, whatever the little theme is around around Buckner.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, he's going to get better, and they're going to get better. He's a game changer. You got
He's
the
a
guy
5-star recruit. He's
right.
Extremely talented. I'm not worried about him. It's just going to take some time. They weren't going to jump right into Ohio State and hit the ground running. It's going to take a couple weeks before they hit full stride.
Agreed. All right, so let's do this. Look, I need all of you in the chat right now. Stop, collaborate, and listen. Hit the like and share to all those Facebook groups. So, Joe, I did this on AYS this week. I'm going to do it here. We got some merch to give away, but this is how this is going to work. I got a MILF shirt. Yes. Man, I love football. Okay. T-shirt, AYS shirt. Whoever shares this show today, I'm going to send one to him. And no, not our producer, Zach. I want to share Mr. Blake. Who? Not him. So there's a lot of you in here right now. This is how they got to win, Joe. They got to share it to a Facebook group, or if they're on YouTube, you got to share it to Twitter, Facebook, and tag us in it. Does that sound fair? That seems pretty easy.
That sounds pretty fair. Is that on shop.bleav.com?
I'm glad you asked. It's on AYSSnetwork.com, but
I need one of those.
I got the shirt, okay? So I'm just going to send it to him, okay? So that's how I was just going to plan on doing it. But I'm glad you brought that up because people could shop at Bleav too. Bring that up.
Yeah, there's plenty of other good shirts. If we got a lot of fan bases covered there, not a lot of SEC shirts, but a lot of other good shirts there on shop.bleav.com for anyone who's looking.
Y'all need a just shirt with my face on it.
Send it over. We'll put your face on a shirt. We got a designer and everything.
You'll sell 3 of them, okay? I'll buy one. My mama will buy 2. You know, that's just the truth.
We'll get 4 then because Eric's gonna buy one.
Yeah, Eric. You know, Eric's a big AYS. He's a big AYS guy. You know, but I do got to give a shout out to the good friends at Bleav. I want to thank them for this week. You know, being in the newsletter and all that stuff gets your boy a little emotional, man. I mean, when you start something like this from the ground up, it's always good to be recognized, man. It's always good to be
well deserved.
Yeah, well, a lot of hard work. And Zach, I mean, bro, if my producer, man, I mean, he just, you know, he look, this gray hair right here and this beard, all from Zach, our producer. Just telling you. All right, so let's do this, Joe. Let's talk about our good friends over at BetOnline. Guys, go over to betonline.ag. We had 2 people ask last night when we gave our picks earlier this week. I gave just here and there just some random picks that I'm going to be going. Vandy in the beginning of the season, the plus 2.5 wins. They go up against Wake Forest today. So I'm really I had Vandy plus the 2.5 wins. Let's see there, but go to betonline.ag. Use that promo code Bleav50 at checkout if you haven't done that on your first deposit. So Joe, let's pay these bills. We'll be back in 1 minute and 30 seconds, guys. We got a lot to cover with me and Joe. Stay tuned. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to wager on all of your favorite sports, contests, events with the first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews for all the news for each league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, college sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all of your sports information for live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head on over to BetOnline today and use your mobile device to join and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code Bleav50, that's Bleav50, BLEAV 50, to receive your 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's betonline.ag, betonline.ag. With over 65 years of experience, nobody is better equipped to servicing your vehicle than GM Varnado & Sons. RV repair, big rig overhauls, motorhome chassis, routine maintenance, tire rotations, tire sales. No job is too big or too small over at GM. If you break down on the side of the road in the greater Baton Rouge area, they will come and get you. And the best thing about that is that they can come and get you, and then they can bring your vehicle back to their shop and start the repairs right then. Again, GM Varnado & Sons. Go see them over at 2500 Fuller Boulevard. Give them a call at 225-664-9992. 225-664-9992. Tell them your good friend Blake Ruffino sent you on by. Okay, so Joe, we do got a lot to get into here this morning. So let's start with it. Let's not waste time. right? Like, let's not waste time at all. Last week, week one, and like we just talked about and we just mentioned, I think was one of the best week ones that I'd ever remembered and I'd ever seen. Ohio State, Notre Dame, Florida, Utah, LSU, and Florida State. And then you wrapped it out with Clemson and Georgia Tech, but a lot of great games in between there. You had Cincinnati and Arkansas. Georgia came out and absolutely curb stomped Dan Lanning and the Oregon Ducks. So let's start there. Joe, I got to be honest, I think Georgia's best team in the country. I honestly believe we're going to see, as this season goes on, Staquavius Bennett with the new hairdo, buddy, they're more complete. And I know that their defense was stellar last season. I know that they had a lot of draft picks. But when you I get so angry sometimes when people trash on Stetson Bennett because it kind of gets to a point where you could be a good college quarterback and not a pro prospect. I think that they're the best team in the country. I think they're more complete than a season ago, which should scare everybody. Last week when you saw Georgia and Oregon, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, what you just said, that Georgia is far and away the best team in the country. You saw every single level of the field that they were dominating. Stetson Bennett playing, slightly above average is enough for them to explode offensively. They've got that whole grouping of tight ends with Bowers, Gilbert, and in Washington. And then on top of that, like, you've got so many running backs that you can go to. The amount of 5-stars that are littered on that offense and that defense, they're prepared to knock the hell out of everybody. And I honestly, I look at, not to jump ahead too much, but like this Texas versus Alabama matchup, ironically, I don't see that as Alabama versus Texas. I see that as Alabama versus Georgia, their opportunity to prove that they're the number one team in the country going up against a recognized program. That they have to counter what Georgia just did in week one.
Not only to counter, but they got to get better, right? Like, they got to show something. And I agree with you wholeheartedly. I mean, when you go out against Oregon at a neutral site, and look, it's not a home game, right? Like, teams historically, and we went and checked this out. Teams historically in neutral site games start off slower, not Georgia. Here's what the biggest thing to me was. It wasn't that they ran so well. It's not that they threw the ball so well. It's not that the defense didn't take a step back. The biggest thing for me, the biggest takeaway, is there was a point in time in the game where Georgia had 20 pass plays and 6 rushes, which goes to show me from a season ago that Kirby's like, and Todd Monken, their offensive coordinator, is like, hey, look, Stetson, you've been here, buddy. The gloves are off. And the great thing is they don't do anything special offensively. They're not running some special scheme. They're not doing something spread, RPO, nothing. Bottom line is they line up and say, can you dig it, sucker, like my name's Booker T? Okay, and so that to me, and they're running an NFL pro style offense. Okay, is the bottom line, and they're lining up and beating you. Joe, they didn't take any transfers. They have been the best constructed team that I can remember in a long time in back-to-back seasons. This feels a lot like USC leading up to when they played Texas, because that team was so damn good and talented. Where was the weaknesses? Well, Texas found it, the perimeter. So, look, Georgia's got Samford this week. God bless the people in Samford. You're going to get crushed. So we'll see. But you did bring up Texas and Alabama, which we'll probably spend a lot of our time on this week because it's the marquee game. Texas versus Alabama. Look, I like Josh Fisher a lot. They're going to get clapped. So I'll kick it off to you first. What's your thoughts on this Texas-Bama game?
Yeah, I think saying getting clapped might be a little bit of an understatement. The future SEC
13 rated show here.
Yeah, we can't properly and appropriately use the words to describe what is actually going to happen today. And I actually have a bet on the line with Josh and Alex, the other producer, that if Texas somehow wins this game, I have agreed to get a Longhorn tattoo on my ass. I am that confident that it's out on Twitter. I have posted it. I am not denying that, and I have agreed. And per Eric, my boss, that if Texas wins, I will live stream me getting this tattoo on my ass. I am that confident that Alabama is going to kick the crap out of Texas. There is such a vast difference in the quality of these two teams. This isn't like last year where it was Texas A&M that was able to upset Alabama. This is so different. There are some really nice playmakers on offense. You got Quinn Ewers, you got Xavier Worthy, you've got Bijan. They're nice playmakers. That offensive line is a mess. That defense is full of nobodies. I don't understand how you can logically put together a formula for how they win that football game.
I will listen. So I'm going to say this. If I'm you, okay, I'm like rolling all kinds of tides. Okay, that is just amazing. I love when. So what happens if Bama wins? Does Josh and them have to do anything?
No, I'm that confident. That like I don't need anything. This is all for pride. I'm so just for bragging rights, so I can show up on Monday and I can happily, give a nice horns down in our Monday morning meeting.
Oh, dude. Can I just be in there for like 5? It's Monday morning.
Oh, yes. Like I'll get you the link. Just remind me. I will get you in.
All right. I'm dead serious because I'll come in there. You know me. I'll come in there laughing my ass off. I mean, look, the bottom line is this. I think Bama's pissed. Okay. And look, this, what's ironic about this? This is only the third Power 5 program that Nick Saban has played on the road since being at Alabama. That is interesting to me. That shows you how much control he has over this program, over the SEC, scheduling, all that stuff. But it's not going to be enough. Look, Quinn Ewers, although I think has flashes of extreme talent, like I said earlier, his mullet's going to get knocked off. When you got Dallas coming on one end and Will Anderson coming on the other, you have offensive line struggles. Man, this would get bad early. Here's the only thing. I wonder if Sark knows how to keep this game close early. Like, does him being in meetings with Nick keep it close? Because, and I don't think that it will, but I am interested behind that. Now, Texas has some athletes, but I think Bama, like you mentioned, if you go out here and you beat Texas by 40 in their home stadium, it's going to be something, man. It's going to be really something. I don't think that they can start Bryce Young. I don't think that they can start this running game. I think Gibbs is one of the best backs in the country for Alabama. I think this is going to be a beating, and I really do. But I would rather get the peacock tattoo on my rear end like that's on your shirt. That's what I want. Like peacock. If Notre Dame wins the national – oh, that's a toucan.
Yeah, it's the Guinness toucan.
Okay. I will get – listen, I'll double – I'll get on the end on this bet. I will get that toucan tattoo on my arse if Notre Dame makes the playoffs.
Oh, that's a really risky bet. Come on now. That's actually possible because if USC and Clemson finish with good records and they beat both of them and Notre Dame has one loss and Ohio State's the third team in, that's a possible.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. They love y'all too much. I better chill out. You're right.
Yeah. I'm willing to take that bet. What do you want to counter that with?
No. I spit off more than I can chew. Pause. No, you're right. Do you have a final prediction of this game? How bad do you see it getting?
I think by 3 scores. I think the line has moved a ton. Different books have different lines. Like I heard one this morning when I was driving back to my apartment. It was like 14 points or something like that. The one I saw before that was 20 points for Alabama favored. I think this is a 21 point win for Alabama at the bare minimum. They'll probably, take their foot off the pedal a little bit towards the end of this game. But as you said, you've got all the offensive playmakers. They're going up against a defense full of nobodies, supposed to be revamped, but they don't have any playmakers. Jameer is good enough to lead this team on his own. Not to mention that you've got Bryce Young who's handing in the football. So give me Alabama by 3 scores. Probably, something in the 40s offensively is what they're going to rack up.
I'm not going to let you slide on this one. I should, but I'm not. You said when I was on my way back to my apartment this morning, bound chicka wow wow.
I was at my girlfriend's apartment. I'm not going to act like I'm some. I've got less game than you think I do, Blake. I was a long snapper.
I got to be honest. You're a gigolo. All long snappers are gigolos. You're like Deuce Bigelow, male gigolo over here.
We front a lot when none of us actually have any game, admittedly. I'm not gonna front.
All right, I hear you. All right, let's move on to some of these bigger matchups here today. I do want to get, because you had some very choice words about Brian Kelly last week. Don't think I forgot about that. I'm going to get to that. Nevertheless, let's go to South Carolina, Arkansas. Why are people making this a bigger game than it is? South Carolina's not good. Why are people making this a bigger game, in your opinion?
Well, South Carolina was the darling coming into this year. You know, Shane Beamer looked good in the final games last season. They bailed on Jason Brown, who I loved as a player. And they go and get Spencer Rattler, who already doesn't look like he's much of an upgrade after that first game that they played. Pretty sloppy offensively. Their passing game struggled against Georgia State. And I don't understand, man. I think it's everyone wants to buy into the storyline. It's a comeback story, if you will, for Stogner and Rattler. But come on, the way that Arkansas played against Cincinnati, they played sloppy and they still beat a ranked team in Cincinnati. This is not going to be a close one either. I don't have much faith in South Carolina. Outside of Rattler, it's again very thin roster. Cam Smith's a nice player on defense, but there's a lot of holes that need to be corrected and not a lot of weapons that they have in that receiver room.
I think people put too much on Spencer Rattler's shoulders and thinking that he was going to come in and revamp. Their offensive line is horrendous. Like, look, we're going to get to this next because I really want to get to this Kentucky-Florida game. They're horrible, dude. I mean, look, they don't do anything well offensively. They don't have anybody on the outside. Their tight end, like you mentioned, Stogner, he's their biggest bright spot. They can run the football a little bit, okay? But the bottom line is, Joe, in my opinion, what they were expecting is not what they're going to get, right? Meaning they're expecting 7, 8, 9, 10 wins. Like, when I talk to South Carolina fans, they think they can get to 9 wins. Where? Because with that offensive line, you're not getting anything. Arkansas. So let me say this. Mm-hmm. As much as you talked about Texas and Alabama being a blowout 20-something point win, this game might not be 20-something point win by Arkansas, but it's going to get nasty. Okay, like they're going to. It's like it's like a Notre Dame game, dude. Like, I know you're talking about that. Sometimes they line up and they just punch you in the mouth. When you have guys like Martin, when you have guys like Quentin Nelson, that offensive line at Notre Dame, as an example, that's how they win their games. They dominate you up front, right? Arkansas is going to absolutely obliterate them. They got playmakers defensively. Drew Sanders comes from Alabama. I told people all season that kid's just a dude. Then you got Dwight McGlothern, who's another dude. I think this one gets out of hand early. That's just my opinion. I think that Arkansas is going to be way too much for them.
Yeah, I think that's a really realistic outlook. And I was trying to figure out what you meant by a Notre Dame game, but I agree with that sentiment. This is the best offensive line in the SEC right now. Ricky Stromberg is a dude. I love watching him play because he's athletic. He moves really well. And then all the guys around him, he brings them all up. They don't need to, open up the passing game to win this football game. They can just hand the ball. They can let KJ run every single down, and he might even go untouched against this South Carolina defense. But definitely a tone-setting game, and you kind of look at this game as an opportunity for them to correct some of those issues. I know that there were some injuries that popped up. Again, they were sloppy towards the end of that game against Cincinnati. This is kind of a get-right game, which is odd to say that Cincinnati wasn't, but the SEC game that they have in week 2 is the get-right game.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy is, too, Joe, Arkansas just feels like I try to tell, because last week I said I expected more from Arkansas. Let me explain what I mean by that. I wanted to see them run the football better. Okay, like I thought that they would dominate a little bit more. Running backs miss some wide open holes. I think that they get corrected. The only thing for South Carolina, though, I mean, holy Beamer ball. Like if I'm Virginia Tech, I'm like, what are we doing? Okay. But look, as LSU got proven last week, special teams, Joe, all offseason, we always talk about offense, defense, and depth. We never talk about special teams. It's my fault for being a host of a show. That's how they win this game. If there's any way that they can pull it off, you got to get a couple more blocks. You got to get a punt return. You got to do something on special teams to get this win and get momentum on your side. All right, the biggest game of the week, in my opinion, outside of Alabama and Texas, UK and Florida. Okay, I said last week, I placed a $10 bet on BetOnline for Anthony Richardson to win the Heisman. And people laughed at me for months. In the wise words of Blake Ruffino, na boo boo. Okay? Booyah. However, they play a really good coach Kentucky team today. I think Kentucky's offensive line really stinks. Okay? On the perimeter. They got whooped by Albany. Okay? Albany. Joe, this one also, I think, could get a little out of hand if Kentucky's not prepared. What says you about Florida and Kentucky?
Yeah, I got to say first, after watching the way that Anthony Richardson played in that first game, as somebody who evaluates draft prospects, I'm all in on Anthony Richardson. I was reluctant to buy in because he hadn't played enough, but seeing what I saw last week, this is a first-round quarterback. This is a top 10 level quarterback. The dude is talented, and he plays up to the level that I think everyone thought Will Levis was supposed to play. They're both great athletes, great runners, huge arms. Instead, Anthony Richardson, who mentally is the one who put it all together, who understood how to become a big-time playmaker and make all those big splash plays to put them in a position to win. I think if you compare the two rosters, Kentucky is going to be the more well-rounded, better coached roster because Stoops has been there longer. But Anthony Richardson's the type of guy, as you know, you put that Heisman bet down, he's the type of guy to lift up his team for them to win a game that maybe they're outmatched in. All it needs to come down to is if Anthony Richardson, if it's a tight game, it's tied up in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left. If he does the same stuff that he did against Utah, where he picks up like a 4th down and long on like a scramble or moves out in the pocket and completes like a really tough pass, that's going to win them the football game. And it might end up coming down to that.
I'm going to say this, and look, so you know how you guys at Bleav do those little, well, y'all do it for us. You know, the little, y'all take one of our quotes and you post it on social media. I said last week on this show, and it got me some really bad backlash. I said outside of Anthony Richardson, their ass, but
their offensive line's good. You're not wrong. Their offensive line's strong, and I love Osiris Torrance. Like, he's a dude. But you're 100% right. Like, their weapons, ETN's okay. Like, they don't have a lot of anybody to go to, and Richardson's going to have to do everything in these important games if they want to win. That's the reality of it.
He can make them the second best team in the East.
Easily.
Based off of him alone. They're in every single game because of Anthony Richardson. And like I said last week, and I know we got to get to Kyler here, so we'll pick this back up because he covers Tennessee, so we'll talk Tennessee Pitt with him. I'm going to tell you this, Joe. If there's one person that could take down Georgia, he could do it. We've seen Cam Newton have this meteoric rise to take down one of, if not the most talented Bama offense or defense of all time.
Yeah.
What he did on that 2-point conversion, the pump fake, he hit B move, bro. He went all the way. He hit the B button. Okay. He hit the circle button on PlayStation and then hit rifle the dude in the back of the end zone.
Not a lot of dudes who can do that.
There's nobody. Listen, I do that. I do that with Lamar Jackson on Madden. I was playing Madden last night, and I was juking dudes. That's video game shit he's doing out there, okay? Let me say this, though. Kentucky's defensive line is something serious. If there's something that can keep this game really close, it's a good-on-good matchup with both Kentucky's defensive line and, like you mentioned, Florida's offensive line commingling here. It's going to be really, really fun. Okay, Tennessee Pitt. So let's go to Kyler, but we got to take a quick break. I'm excited, Joe.
I'm just up.
Did you know last year when we got hit with the hurricane, I had to like drive from place to place, friend to friend. to go watch college football, and I'm sitting my fat ass on the recliner this whole season. You can't tell me shit. That's how pumped up I am. Okay, I shouldn't have cursed, but I'm that excited. All right, let's do this. Let's pay a bill very quickly. Let's talk about our good friends over at Gramco, thegramco.com. Guys, we return in 1 minute. We got a special guest. Let's break down Tennessee, and Pitt. We return soon. Guys, I've got to talk to you about our good friends over at Gramco. They are the Delta 8 company based out of the state of Florida. They're founded by college football junkies just like you and I am not sure if you're familiar with Delta 8, but you need to be. Gramco is the absolute leader in this field, and they have phenomenal products that I just need to tell you about. First off is the Wake and Bake coffee that is absolutely spectacular. The gummies are as well, as they're the best in the market. So go to thegramco.com right now and use the promo code AYS25. That's thegramco.com, AYS25 promo code to get 25% off of your order. Jump on this fast as it is perfect for holidays, anniversaries, and everyday use. Gramco is hemp-derived and completely legal inside of the state of Louisiana. No medical card is needed, and shipping is very discreet. You must be 21 years older to order. Again, that's thegramco.com. Use that promo code AYS25.
Joining us now here on the show, we've got Kyler Kerbyson, former Tennessee Vol, host of Bleav in Tennessee. Kyler, did I get your name right? I'm like the worst at pronouncing names.
It's close. It was close. I don't worry about it. I have constantly got my name wrong throughout the years. Kyler Kerbyson. Kerbyson is the way you say it.
So I was right. I was right to start the show.
Yeah.
Kyler, I'm horrible too. Thank God you have a beautiful mustache. So it makes up for all of this, man. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I mean, it looks like that you rolled out of a 1900s, like gangster movie, with a Tommy gun. That's what
I appreciate that. It has been a long road. It has been a long road from the chin strap days back in college. So it took a while to get to this point, but we're here. Thank God.
All right. So Kyler, look, y'all have a big game today. I just want to kick it to you. What do you think the biggest strength for Tennessee going into today's game is? Obviously, maybe offensively, but what do you think the biggest strength is today?
So, I mean, I would obviously say offensively, our defense is seen as the weaker side of the ball for us. But specifically on offense, I think our run game is going to be our most important factor in this game. Everyone talks about the pass. Everyone thinks about the pass when they play us because you see those explosive plays. But a lot of those big explosive plays are play action passes. They're the fake that Hendon does to pull those linebackers up to maybe make a safety just hesitate for a second. So I think running the ball is going to be most important. I think Pitt gives us a favorable box. They put 6 guys in the box, and we have 6 blockers. I like our odds when we have that. So they run a 4-3 defense. I also love that too. It is a lot more simple to run your inside zone plays versus that 4-3 defense than that 3-4 bear that some teams run, that even Ball State ran last week. I think the run game is going to be our most important. And when you look back at Pitt, West Virginia did whatever they wanted on the ground. That number 12, I don't know the guy's name, he went off. So that makes me feel
true freshman at that. The kid was a true freshman too, right?
Exactly. And Jabari Small, our starting running back, the way that he can move, the way that he can run, the cuts that he has, and the fact that Hendon can also run the ball, it makes it to where they're either going to have to put more guys in the box and leave our wide receivers open, or they're just going to let us run rampant. And I'll take that. If we just run the ball the whole game, I think we can still be successful. So it's just picking and choosing what that defense gives you. And I love the fact that Heupel just understands defenses so well and is able to pick up on that little intricacies of, hey, we're changing up. Instead of running inside zone versus Ball State because they were given that bear look, we're going to run counter and power in the second half and just gash them. So now Pitt's running a 4-3. Let's run inside zone. Let's run outside zone. Let's mix it up. Let's not run all the same stuff. So I love the look that Pitt has given us through this West Virginia game.
I want to say this. Thank you so much for deliberately telling the viewers that listen to my show every week, every day, what they don't believe me anymore. Thank you so much for the 4-3 breakdown.
You're welcome.
Whatever you say next is probably going to happen. You're like the SEC Jesus at this point, in my opinion. Thank you so much for explaining that. Joe, we kick it over to you.
Well, I want to ask you about Hendon Hooker. So I've been a really big fan of Hendon Hooker. I think he's been really undervalued. There's been all this hype. I was just saying, I don't know if you heard when you hopped in, that everyone hypes up Will Levis as a prospect, but I think Hendon is further along. He's older, but he's a lot more further along. Having a guy like Hendon Hooker as your starting quarterback, like, what does that do for you offensively? Like, what does that help, having someone who's so experienced? I think he's like 24 years old. Like, how much does that help a team with a good head coach to lead your offense?
Well, honestly, the fact that he is almost to a full year under Heupel now as a starting quarterback, it makes me feel amazing. The connection between those two, because really, when we saw Hendon come from Virginia Tech, it was like, okay, this guy can run a little bit, but he hasn't really got the passing game down yet. I don't know if he's going to be a great guy, which is why Joe Milton started the season last year.
Yeah.
Hendon was just so unknown. So I think it's a mix. It's not all Hendon. It's not all Heupel, but them working in tandem and Heupel understanding what Hendon is good at, what he can do on that field, and taking advantage of those things. So it does make me feel great that we have a solidified starter going into the season. Because let me tell you guys, last year, I went to a spring practice before last year started, and it was sad. It really was. I couldn't believe the amount of guys we had lost, the depth that we just did not have, and that I was scared for the season. I picked us to only win 5 games last year because it was just everything was unknown. This year, knowing your starting quarterback, knowing you pretty much lost only 3 guys on offense, you lost 2 guys on defense. There's not a lot of turnover. It's almost all the same team.
Right.
And that in and of itself just gives you confidence as a player, as a coach, and as a fan when you're going into that season. That's why people are picking Tennessee to finish second in the East, not Florida. I heard what you said about Anthony. I do not agree. I think he is good, but I don't think he's that good. I'll just say that. I think
as much
what
as
he
you did great for yourself, you completely tore down. We're like in Sodom and Gomorrah now. I put you so high on the pedestal. Now you just turn everything down.
Well, listen, I think he is good. I think he is a very good quarterback. But for someone to say, yeah, he's pretty much like Cam Newton.
Hold on.
Oh, no.
Hold on. He can't have that impact. That's why the word
maybe one or 2 plays a game, but Cam Newton, there wasn't a player on that team, on that offense, that played a snap in the NFL besides Cam Newton.
It's not true. It's not true.
How many guys played?
4. They had 3 offensive linemen and a tight end.
Did they continue a career?
And they had 2 running backs that played in the league.
Did they continue their careers, or was it just like a practice squad, or like a?
I'm trying to remember who those guys were.
It was Cam and Cam alone that brought that team along.
Okay, sounds good. He can have that impact. Kyler, you mean to tell me after what you saw last week that he can't put a team on his back to beat Tennessee?
I don't think he has enough. I think he can attempt to. I think we still are going to beat Florida. I do. I think he can do everything he can possibly do at a certain point. But
the comparison I was trying to make was you see guys that don't have talent around them like Cam did to be able to put a team on they can be second in the East if he can continue to play like that. That was the
okay.
Probably
I see what you're saying.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
2 weeks we'll revisit this.
if he continues.
Kyler's got me rolling. Dude, I'm telling you, I
Definitely.
put you on such a high pedestal. You going
Well,
down a little, buddy.
I mean, I do have some bias here because I
Right.
did play at Tennessee, so I truly do.
Let me
hate
say this
Florida.
though, that I think
But-
though, Kyler, I do think that because look, Joe played in college, I played college, you played college. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that I don't think fans understand is when you talk about like we went to LSU scrimmages, you talked about Tennessee's practices. People don't understand when you're at a good practice, you know it, right? Like there's different tiers. Me going to LSU in 2019's practice and scrimmage is completely different than what I saw this year. I know how far off they are. Okay.
Mhm.
Let me ask you this though. When you talk about going out there, is there something with this Pitt game that worries you?
Well, I honestly do feel better that Rodney Hammond might not be playing. Their running back, number 6. Watching him versus West Virginia, he worried me. I thought his skill set and the way he ran the ball, the way he found his holes, their running game can be very good. Some part of it, I feel like Pat Narduzzi is wanting to run the ball so much that he's not taking advantage of the pass. Like it's like he has this thing in his heart where it's like we have to, but he can trust Slovis. Slovis threw for over 300 yards last week and looked really good. Looked like his freshman year at USC, and that is almost like, hey, if they can really take advantage of the passing game and Slovis and his abilities, that could be detrimental to us because our strength right now and what it's seen as our strength is our defensive line and getting pressure, our defensive ends especially. And if they're able to throw the ball around and protect with 5 or 6 guys up front and have wide receivers running, then, I mean, honestly, they could take advantage of our defense. So that's, I would say, what scares me the most is the defensive side of the ball and that passing game, because you get those big explosive plays that can, I mean, talk about demoralizing for a team is big explosive plays, demoralizing for the defense and the offense. I've been in those games before where we score, then they score, then we score, then they score. And it's just like,
it's
defense,
mentally
help
exhausting.
us out, please.
Right.
Yeah, just get one stop. We can win this game. You guys just got to get one stop for us. That's it. And it really like weighs on you.
Well,
Kyler,
and you start pressing too. You start pressing too. Go ahead, Joe.
All I was going to say is, I got to ask the last thing I was just curious on. Like, I honestly think that this Pitt team is one of the most overhyped teams in college football. I don't think that ranking was deserved. And while that was a fun game to watch last weekend, like West Virginia, are they really that good for them to just barely beat them? And it's an important rivalry. Is there like some level of disrespect felt by the Tennessee program? Like, I was shocked that they weren't ranked until this week. And then now they're facing off against a team that's ranked higher than them. They're facing a team that they lost to last year. This Pitt team's a quality ACC program, but they are nowhere near as good as the team that won the ACC last season. So is there a level of disrespect felt from this Tennessee team?
Oh, I definitely think so. I definitely think the guys in the locker room see the headlines, they understand. Now we are a favorite going into this. So, even though we are ranked lower, I think they do see it like that. They see that, Florida jumped up and way up after one victory. And, everyone was talking about you leading into the season. Everyone was saying Tennessee, they're going to be number 2 in the East. And then you're not in the top 25 to start the season. And then the next week they put Florida ahead of you. All of that is motivational factors. But I agree with you wholeheartedly. I do not think Pitt deserved that ranking. I don't think they deserve to be in the top 25. Like I said, West Virginia is an okay team. I think they played very hard in that game. But Pitt got lucky they won that game. Yes. I mean, that pick 6 was the craziest thing I've ever seen. The ball directly hit that man in the hands. And it just bounced right out. And Pitt got a lucky bounce, was able to just take it back to the house. So if a game is that close versus an unranked opponent in West Virginia that really no one saw having a good season this year, no one saw them as a dark horse in any kind of playoff picture or anything like that, and you got lucky to win that game, and they still scored 31 points on you. I don't know if you're ready for this offense that snaps the ball in 19 seconds, average. In the past 4 games, we've scored over 45 points. It's like, get ready because we're going to score no matter what. You better be able to keep up on your side of the ball.
Kyler, thank you so much for joining us, bud. Tell everybody where they can catch all your stuff, all the content that you guys are doing.
Yeah, so it's Bleav in Tennessee Football, BLEAV. And you can find us on YouTube. We got a channel there. You can find us on all podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, all of it. And you can follow us on social media at Bleav in Tennessee for our Twitter, our main account, at rbacon26, which is my co-host Reed Bacon, and at Kyler Kerbyson on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for me. So you can follow me on all that stuff. And I love live tweeting during the games and having fun with fans. So it's a great time.
Word to the wise. Before we get you out here, word to the wise. When you tweet during live games, sometimes you can get emotional. Like if you do like myself, don't check the notifications. Okay, check the notifications after the game, because what happens is if you got people that are mad that you're saying what you're saying, be like, "You're an idiot, Blake." Be like, "Thank you, I appreciate it." Kyler, thank you so much. We'll have you on again later this season. Thank you so much.
Definitely. Thank you guys for having me on.
No problem. Okay. That is our good friend Kyler. Joe, you ready to double pause? You ready to get drunk, dude? You ready to get drunk?
I missed out last week. I'm excited.
Okay, well, listen. We're going to go to a minute and 30 break here. We're going to get back to Bet Online and GM Varno and Sons because I got to go get all my shit. Okay, I got to run to the store right quick. I forgot an item again. Jenna's going to kill me. She's going to kill me. I'm not a cherry fan, dude. I don't.
Oh, there's cherries in yours?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Yours is way more complicated than mine. I don't think Jenna had very much faith in me, by the way. She gave me like the simplest, like two-step, just two-step.
I would have. I got like 45,000 different alcohols. I'm about to get crunk. All right, let's do this. Let's talk about our good friends over at betonline.ag. Guys, go over to BetOnline, Bleav50. Use that promo code Bleav50 and get 50% off of your first deposit. Let's do this. Let's pay these bills. We gonna get drunk next. Stay tuned. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to wager on all of your favorite sports, contests, events with the first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews for all the news for each league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, college sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all of your sports information for live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head on over to BetOnline today and use your mobile device to join and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code Bleav50, that's Bleav50, BLEAV 50, to receive your 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's betonline.ag, betonline.ag. With over 65 years of experience, nobody is better equipped to service in your vehicle than GM Varno & Sons. RV repair, big rig overhauls, motorhome chassis, routine maintenance, tire rotations, tire sales. No job is too big or too small over at GM. If you break down on the side of the road in the greater Baton Rouge area, they will come and get you. And the best thing about that is that they can come and get you, and then they can bring your vehicle back to their shop and start the repairs right then. Again, GM Varno & Sons. Go see them over at 2500 Fuller Boulevard. Give them a call at 225-664-9992, 225-664-9992. Tell them your good friend Blake Ruffino sent you on by. All right, we are joined again by our friend, Jenna Duddleton. Jenna, welcome back. How are you? Hold on. You're muted. Hold on. All right, go ahead.
I think it's on Jenna's end.
Jenna, I think you're muted. Let's see.
Is your mic armed? I need some Jeopardy music.
Well, we got some little something. But I got the LSU fight song. Jenna, we can't hear you. Hold on. Let's see. I don't really know. We can't hear you. Okay, hold on. We're gonna bring Jenna down, and then we're gonna bring you back up, see if it'll work then. Listen, there's not a lot of things that I get excited for. Okay. Getting drunk at 9 a.m. is definitely not one of those things because I love it. Okay, let's see if we got Jenna back here. Can you hear us, Jenna? No. Okay. Got some technical difficulties, aren't it? So what's up with your drink? What all ingredients do you have?
So as I alluded to earlier, Jenna doesn't have a lot of faith in me to make a complicated drink. She told me we were going to do the Texas tea that's very popular there, and it's basically a Long Island with a bunch of mixtures. And I appreciate her looking out for me, not having to spend $200 on a bunch of alcohols, but instead I have tequila and tea. That's and lemon. That's the mixture that we're going with. It sounds really good. I'm excited for it because I love tea. You know, I love the alcoholic tea.
Like a guy that likes tea. I got like 66 different alcohols. Boom.
Oh my God. Is yours a whiskey drink?
No. Boom. Vodka.
Oh, I love Tito's. Tito's is one of the most underrated.
Oh, we're not done. It's like Oprah in this bitch. Boom. Right. We got like 66 different alcohols in here. She wants she wants me to get drunk before 10. And I love every second of it. Okay. Let's see if we got it. All right, Jenna. We got her.
I'm in, guys. Sorry about that. I don't know what the hell happened.
Good.
That's what he said. Anyway, Jenna.
You're not even drunk yet. What do we say?
I know. I can't help it, man.
Listen, I tee Bleav up and he swings, and that's just how this relationship works between he and I. Okay.
Okay. So look, I'm doing the free trial of Amazon or Peacock, and the first thing that they advertised to me was The Office, and I can't help but watch it. I can't help it.
It's the
guys. It just
you do give Michael Scott vibes sometimes.
He is Michael Scott in some ways, Bleav. It's not a bad thing. He's hysterical.
What?
No, I'm just not.
That wasn't a negative thing. That wasn't like a.
So should I get a Michael Scott T-shirt? Like I'm the boss?
Yeah, I think you should.
Or you should just put it right behind your head.
I didn't think that was a negative comment.
Oh,
yeah, that's a good idea.
It's not. It's actually kind of. I want to be Jim, but I don't have the looks. Jenna, let's get this thing rolling though.
Okay.
Good morning. How are you?
I am great, and it's so great to be with both of you. If you're going to miss out on any piece of equipment, I guess we'll say, Bleav, I'm happy it was the cherry and not the like important things. The cherry's more so for like the look of it. So it's not that important. But Joe, we're going to start off with yours first. And I wanted to ease you into the drink making process was kind of my thought.
That's fair.
So first thing that you're going to do is you're going to take a lemon. Okay?
Oh, look at Joe.
There we go. See, you were prepared. I'm very happy.
Yes.
Okay. And then what we're going to do is like, you're just going to take a little, like a lemon wheel. And this is, again, for garnish. You don't need to have this, but again, I just think that you drink with your eyes. So like keep it to the side.
Okay. Got one of those.
I'm going to be honest. I have no idea what this is called. It's the squeezer is what we'll say it is.
Oh,
okay?
I'm not fancy enough for one of those.
That's okay. So you're just going to like squeeze in your lemon juice, or it's just going to be about an ounce of lemon juice.
No, I got a seed in there.
That's okay. Just, don't, I guess, swallow it. I don't know. Don't.
You're setting up Bleav for.
I know. I heard it after I said it. I'm sorry. I can't help it. Sorry.
The segment started rough. He started saying double fisting, and then here we go. Now we're just getting worse and worse.
Yeah. Don't swallow, Joe. Oh God, it's so great. I'm sorry, Jenna. Am I coming off as a bad Southern man?
No, I know you mean well, but I also think that because of who I am, a lot of people feel very comfortable just saying whatever the fuck they want to me, which I really appreciate.
It's not just you. I say shit to anybody.
Well, then that's good. So then I don't know if you're a good Southern man, Blake. Only you can answer that question. Okay.
All right, continue. I'm sorry.
Okay. Joe, then take your tequila and you're gonna do like 2 ounces. It's gonna be about like a little over. Blake, shut your mouth. 2 fingers, okay? Shut your mouth, Blake. Shut your mouth. I can hear it already.
Nothing from me.
There we go.
It's a little more than 2.
That's fine. Oh, that's okay. That's gonna be strong, but that's fine.
Oh, I love strong.
Okay, as long as you like strong. And then just take some ice and put it in.
Oh, I put the cart before the horse. I put the ice in too soon.
Okay. So here's a fun fact for everyone listening. Never put your ice in first because you instantly start diluting your alcohol the minute that the liquor touches your ice.
Oh,
now I didn't know that. I didn't know
that either.
So never put the ice in first. Always put it in last. And then you're just going to top it off with some tea. Take your little lemon wheel. And then look at how pretty that looks. Got a little mason jar.
Yeah, I like that one.
Look at that.
And then, Joe, you can impress your girl because you got a new drink to make for her, okay?
Yes.
There's something really sexy about being able to make a drink for a lady, okay? Gentlemen, take some notes. Learn how to make a cocktail.
How is it, Joe?
This is great.
Yeah.
Jenna, you set me up perfectly because I'm a big Twisted Tea fan. So anything with like tea drinks, alcoholic drinks, you hit a home run with this. This is fantastic.
I love to hear that. And again, I'm a big tea person. I love tequila. I'm not going to lie, I hadn't heard of this drink before, but Joe, like you said earlier, I did not want you to make Texas tea at like 6 a.m. Like
that might have been funny to admit. I like next weekend, can you give me something that's like got 10 steps so we can watch me fumble around?
I can do that. We can do that next week. Okay. But we're easing you into the race. Okay. We're easing you into the race.
Well, I tell you what, that's a great drink for. I mean, look, I think it's going to be 92. And it's like
in Austin
kickoff in Austin. I mean, dude, there's nothing better on a hot day than an iced tea, regardless if it's alcoholic or not. You know.
Yeah. 100%. And it's just light because again, I think sometimes when you're drinking all day, like we've all been there where you're like, oh my God, like my stomach just actually can't take anymore. Like it's too much. Whether it's beer, you get like too carbonated, or you get that like beer gut from drinking too much, or if you have something that's like extremely sugary, you're like, I can't do it. Whereas like this is tequila's an upper, so you're gonna stay up the entire time, and it's unsweetened tea, which I know is like blasphemy to Southern people, but it's just regular tea, and it's great.
Oh, did you buy the unsweetened kind? I bought the sweet pure.
Either way is fine. Okay. I prefer unsweetened. That's just like my taste buds. But if you like sweet, do sweet. Again,
I got to do sweet. I can't do the unsweet.
Drink what you like. Okay, Blake, are you ready for our Alabama drink?
Yes. I hope that I do this correctly. Show me what I need to do.
So I will say I had to reach out to a few people to figure out what the like drink of Alabama is because I've never been down to Tuscaloosa. It's on the bucket list. I will go, but apparently the cocktail for tailgating is a Yellowhammer, and I tried it a few days ago and was like genuinely shocked at how delicious it was because it looks like a clown of a drink, but it's so good. So we're gonna make it together. Okay. So, you are going
anything with a drink and a side of meth in the state of Alabama will suffice. They just have their side of meth, okay? And no teeth and a sister, that will do good too. But continue.
Okay, I once had no teeth, but we'll get into that story a little bit later.
Okay, not for the reason that people in Alabama do.
Yeah. Okay, so you're gonna do 1.5 ounces of what's it called? Vodka. Sorry, Tito's. And again, it's going to be just about like a little bit over 1 finger. Okay. Again, we're using fingers if people don't have jiggers, which is fine. Okay.
We got Blake's got big fingers.
Okay, then like just a little bit less then, okay? Then you're going to take your light.
I mean, Jenna, I have D1 NFL hands. I got like 10.5, 11 size hands.
My father made fun of me and told me I had pork sausage links growing up because I was a setter.
That's rough.
He loves me. My dad just has a really weird way of showing love, and that was his. Again, guys, I don't know if we have time to get into this. But then you're going to take your light rum, and again, same thing, 1.5 ounces. So 1 finger. If again, if people don't have jiggers, just you want to try to eyeball it. The other thing to remember too, when you're making this, guys, and I had one of my like bartender instructors said this to me, and it actually really surprised me. Always make your drink a little bit less alcoholic because you're more inclined to drink it if there's less, because when it's too strong, you're not going to drink it. So it like sounds cool to be like, it's super strong, but the truth is it gets really diluted and you're not going to enjoy it as much. So less is technically more in this sense. Okay. Now, amaretto is the key here. You're going to do 1 ounce. All right. So Bleav, with you, I guess it would be like half of your finger. Okay. And this stuff is really good.
All right. So Jenna, I got to be honest.
Yes.
I've had the amaretto stuff with things before. And I gotta be honest, I had a drink last night with this and Tito's and some pineapple juice.
And
it was delicious.
Okay, that's good. That makes me happy. Okay. Then you're gonna take your orange juice and do about 4 ounces. Or like in this case, we can just say like half. Like a little bit like half of the glass. I'm just gonna add a little bit more to be on the safe side. I also love orange juice this early in the morning. Oops. Shit.
Orange juice is always a good mixer.
It is.
Always. Okay, and then the pineapple juice, right?
And then the pineapple juice. So technically, this is kind of just going to be like a little bit of a topper. All right. And then add your ice. You don't have the cherry, which is fine. But honestly, the cherry doesn't add anything. It's more just for like color.
It's decorative.
Yeah,
it's decorative.
It's decorative. And again, someone said this to me once at one of my very first jobs, and it's you drink with your eyes. So try to make it be as like pretty and appealing as possible. And then you just put the cherry right there.
Okay.
Cherry on top.
Okay.
Add your ice. There you got it.
Joe,
that's going to be...
Joe, you like my Southeastern Louisiana cup here?
Is that what that is?
That's what that is.
That's a cool mug or glass, rather.
I got it.
Kicking my ass already, by the way. I've taken like 4 sips. I poured too much tequila.
I told you. It's okay, though.
Cheers.
Cheers, Bleav. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Holy shit.
It's like a better mimosa.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know?
Looks like it.
This kicks a mimosa's ass.
Yeah, and I like bubbles, but like if I'm going to have something like first thing in the morning, I would much rather have this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Was this the first time you made this, Jenna?
This was the first time I made it. So my like genuine reaction when I like made it and then tasted it live, I was like, all right, let's see if it's any good. And I was like, holy smokes, like this is outstanding. And then I chugged it and then got on a meeting later, I think with Bleav. So
I know the exact meeting you're referring to.
Probably. Look, I'm a mess. I'm like spilling all over myself right now. I don't even care.
It's game day.
It's game day.
Get as messy as you need.
We'll get messy.
Never mind. I'm not gonna say it.
Don't say it.
Yeah, come on, Bleav.
Can when we get you out of here? Can you 2 things? Number 1, thank you for the drink. Number 2, what's up with this? You didn't have any teeth. What happened?
Oh yeah. So when I was 10, I got into a scooter accident and I flipped over my scooter and lost my 2 teeth. So when you're 10 and you have your adult teeth, they had to put my dead teeth back into my mouth. And eventually they said they were going to turn black or yellow, rot, and decay away. And they did when I was like 18, 19. I know Joe is like mortified at this story right now. So my front 6 teeth are all fake because again, I'm really painting my dad in a great light right now. But he told me that my gum line looked like Archer Avenue, which was just like all the way up and down. And so it was really bad. Again, my dad's wonderful. Dad, if you're watching this, I love you. But yeah, so I know what it's like to not have teeth. And I had the flipper and I had to play with like a mouth guard where I didn't have teeth in it, but they filled it in. And yeah, and then I had a lisp. It was not fun. I would like, it took me 15 years to get my smile. So
Jenna, I'm wincing because
you do have a pretty smile though, Jenna.
I paid a lot of money for it, so it better be.
Jenna, I'm wincing because you had an excuse because you were young. Last year, I rode one of those stupid bird scooters after I had like 7 or 8 beers, and I landed face first off of one of those bird scooters. Like I didn't break any teeth or anything. I was so lucky. I only smashed my glasses, but
let me
tell
you, my face was so bad that I looked like Two-Face from Batman. And my mother, okay, my
Remind
mother
me to
who
send you a picture. Mine might be just as bad.
there are no photos of me in existence. My mom was like, please let me take a photo. And I said, I don't ever want to remember myself looking like this ever in my life. My lip swelled up to my nose. This side of my face was all swollen, new
Oh my
skin.
God.
And so part of me wishes I had a photo to show everyone, because anytime I see a scooter in Chicago, I just kick it down. And I want to throw it in the river because I'm like, you guys are going to like lose your teeth.
I do the same thing. I can't stand those stupid scooters. Not to sidetrack us too much on scooter talk.
Yeah.
So I was in Milwaukee and we went to Miller Park. And Jenna, I know Milwaukee. I mean,
Milwaukee's not far from me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The bird scooters.
Yep.
I was up there on business. And by the way, I love Milwaukee, by the way.
Yeah.
They charged this guy too much. They charged him like 4 scooters for like 10 hours. It was like a technicality. He started throwing the scooters in the river right outside of Miller Park. And I'm like, dude, talk about intense. Let me ask you this, though. One sports thing before we let you out of here.
Yes.
Your White Sox. What's
Yeah.
going on? What's going on here?
Okay, so I will say I feel like it's the thing that we can't talk about right now. There's this giant elephant in the room, right? And the giant elephant is that the White Sox have been doing well since Tony has been in the hospital, which sounds terrible. Okay, it sounds terrible to say. And now there's reports that are like, Tony's coming back. And we're all supposed to just be like,
Stay in the hospital.
Let me say this about Tony. He did the same thing when what's crazy. A lot of people are betting on the White Sox now because the last time this happened, they won a World Series.
okay,
Like,
so when we
it's-
won in 05, we had, and I remember it as a kid, like vividly, it would have been this time of year right before, we couldn't figure it out, and then we just got hot when it mattered.
Right.
And right now they're hot when it matters. And so I don't know, there's all these like weird pieces falling into place where it's like none of the guys that were supposed to be in their position are in the positions. So the lineup has been moved around so much right now. But I don't know, like I'm still very cautious of my heart because this team really knows how to mess with me. Joe, are you almost done with that drink?
I inhaled drinks. I'm
Good for
halfway
you.
done.
Okay.
That's not.
It was below the camera, so I was like, damn, dude.
So Jenna, here's the thing about long snappers. Okay.
They're not gigalos, dude. I can tell you that right now.
Were you watching the show?
Of course I was watching the show.
Wait. I gotta ask the context of that. It seems like a little close to home. Did you date a long snapper?
No, I've dated a gigolo though, and you're not a gigolo, Joe. You're not.
I don't know
a
what's
gigolo.
worse. I don't know what's worse, dating a gigolo or a long snapper. That's
I
like a
mean-
question asked to chat. Right. Oh God.
I love you so much.
I'm telling you, Joe. Like I feel like I've known you. I've got to know you pretty well in the last 6 months. There's still a
Yes.
lot that I don't know, but I can say in my heart of hearts,
Yeah,
that
I'm
you,
not.
my friend, are not a gigolo.
The other Joe, Bleav is. I am not.
That I will agree with.
Would you
That-
date? Would you date a sinner?
Would I date a center?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Hell yeah. See, Joe?
Why
You
not?
get all the love.
You sound like my roommate.
Me?
No,
Or
no. Blake does. He was an offensive lineman, and he's like adamant that
Yeah.
women love offensive linemen.
They
I mean, I
do.
dated an offensive lineman. Yeah, he was wonderful.
We're cuddly.
Yep.
We have bellies. We drink. We love food.
Mhm.
Checkmate, biatches.
Long
Okay.
snappers are the same thing. We're just 4 inches shorter.
It's true. And you snap it farther. All right, Jenna,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
we
that's
got to
what he
get
said.
moving.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're
Jenna.
fantastic. This segment is fantastic. Tell everybody where they can catch all your content because I love it.
Thank you. It's at Bar Talk with Jenna across the board, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And then from there, you can find me. So just come and hang out with us. We got drinks, we got episodes, and we like to have a good time. And we have a little bit of heart in there too. So I think you guys will enjoy
I
it.
love this week's episode.
Thank you.
Good episode.
It's a really good episode. Jenna, thank you so much. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
All right, that's Jenna Dolson joining us. All right, let's go to a very quick break. We're running late. We might need to text Josh and tell him, like, hey, buddy, we're running late. Like, kind of
Josh
like
can
how-
wait. Josh doesn't have anywhere to be.
Well, it's kind of like how Texas's offense is going to be running late all day today against Alabama.
Mm.
He's going to kill me. I'm never going to get another guest. All right, let's go to Mike Uva. My dude is back, I think, in New England. My man, you become really good friends with a guy when you do a 3-hour podcast on the draft. So our good buddy Mike Uva's up next. Let's go to our guys over at State Farm and our good friend Carol Falls. Guys, we return in 30 seconds with Mike Uva. Let's talk some South Carolina Gamecocks.
Guys, you might know my good friend Carol Falls and all the great service that he provides over at State Farm. He is your good neighbor after all. But did you know State Farm has surprisingly great rates as well? Along with the great neighbor service, State Farm agent Carol Falls has surprisingly great rates for everyone inside the state of Louisiana. So call him today at 985-395-4300, 985-395-4300 for all of those surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life insurance needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to the State Farm underwriting requirements.
Uva.
What's up, fellas?
My man, what's up, buddy?
What's going on?
All right, I got to ask you.
Yep.
Are you back in Boston?
So this job came out of nowhere. Right, I think it was actually the day that South Carolina had media day, the day before practices started for preseason camp for South Carolina. I got offered a gig to cover the Patriots for CBS in Boston as a sports reporter and anchor. So I'm back in the TV life. I am still juggling my job remotely with Gamecock Central. So it is literally go to the TV station, cover the Patriots all day or whoever, and Red Sox, all that stuff. Anchor a couple shows, 3 or 4 shows, tape a couple segments for the next day, come back home. Now it's around midnight, 1 a.m. I'll write a story, do a video, get 3 or 4 hours of sleep, wake up, get caught up on some press conference stuff from the Gamecocks, do some more Gamecock stuff, and then go to work and just do it again every day. So off today, which is great because now I can focus on the Gamecocks. I'll just be doing this remotely for the next couple months up in Boston, and then, fly back to South Carolina when I can. But it came out of nowhere. I couldn't say no to that, man. So I'm covering both the Patriots and the Gamecocks this fall.
Well, nobody works harder than you, buddy. Nobody. And congratulations from me and everybody. I know Bleav as well. Congratulations. And I look forward to.
Yeah. And we're still doing the Bleav podcast too. What a ham bone. I mean, we're on the Bleav platform, and I'm forgetting that, but we're still doing Bleav in South Carolina with Marcus Lattimore, Nick Klaus, also our co-host. We're going to probably be doing those consistently. We're trying to do those live on Monday. It's just, some bum in Massachusetts is screwing up the schedule for everybody, but hopefully we're going to get that taken care of. I appreciate that, bud.
I love the Boston accent. Since you've been up there, it's getting a little deeper. You warned us about this. Like can you say smart pock?
Smart pock?
I love it. All right, let's get.
Doesn't take much to make you freaking happy, does it?
Right. It did. Blake's so easily entertained. But
no.
Blake, I went to school in New England. Like you did, try to laugh at me over that.
I didn't know. I mean,
where do you think the University of Rhode Island is?
Okay.
Hey, well, let's bring this, Blake. Let's bring it back to the SEC here. So
I know that's where we need.
I'll help a little bit. Last night, after I got off at halftime, I went to my dad's high school game. He's heading into his 39th year of coaching high school football.
Oh, wow. Really?
That is the high school that Brian Kelly went to school at. And
Which
Will
high school is
Muschamp, St. John's Prep, same school that
Okay.
Bill O'Brien, former Texans coach, Penn State coach, went to. Will Muschamp was there last night to see one of the 4 stars that Georgia Tech is got verbally committed right now. Caught up with Will for a good 10 minutes. What a great guy. Just as a human, just a good guy.
Wow.
Always been a great guy. So, I say all this because let's get all these other fan bases all pissed off. What's your school doing from recruiting? He went to the game, and then he was flying, he told me, to, I believe, Pennsylvania, where they were going to pick up another coach. And then he was going to fly back, and then they had the team meeting at the hotel because everyone stays off campus, even if it's a home game. So Georgia's got a game tonight. That's what they do. So, and I think Georgia, when the numbers came out about a year or 2 ago, in terms of how much money some of these universities are investing in recruiting,
Bingo,
you can
Mike.
see why Georgia's up there. So, let's get every fan base, let's get LSU pissed off. Let's get South Carolina pissed. Let's get everyone pissed off. So that's what Will was doing last night.
Very quickly, Mike, I to your point, like LSU spent $1.9 million in 2 months in LSU baseball recruiting. Okay, and that's why they're going to be projected number one. Texas will be up there. They're doing a lot of the same.
Yep.
Mike, I need to bring you back on, AYS or this show, because we need to do a recruiting segment about what you just talked about. But let's get to South Carolina because we are pushed for time here. Buddy, big day today. Big day today for this program. Beamer ball, special teams. How do you see this game going?
I see them losing. Let's just start right there. Before the season, I had them starting 1-2. I had them starting 1-2, finishing the year 7-5, 8-4 in the regular season. Because I think what's going to happen with South Carolina more than anything is they are going to get in sync with the offense. They're going to get in sync. The problem is, though, you have a new quarterback, and you're trying to figure this out with a gauntlet of a schedule with, all right, you have Arkansas week 2 on the road. Then you got to come back home and play the defending national champs in Georgia. So Spencer Rattler, he really just doesn't have the time to, have those comfort games, right? And it's not trying to make an excuse. I just feel like this is just going to be how it plays out. So I think what we're going to see today, I think the timing's going to be a little bit better from an offensive standpoint because now you have tape you can go back to, right? Whether you're Rattler, whether you're the offensive line, now you can start getting sync a little bit. Everyone thinks about timing. They think timing is just between the quarterback and receivers, quarterback and tight end. Timing is with the offensive line as well. You need to be able to have that clock in your head. When do I bail and get out of the pocket? When do I step up in the pocket? And I think last week, more than anything, what we saw from Rattler, who, in my opinion, those 2 block kicks, scoop and scores, they don't happen. You take those away and you don't have Rattler at quarterback. I think they might lose that game. I think he was people can say what they want about the statistics. It's fine. Have fun with it. If you were watching the game, though, the things that he was able to do with his feet, getting out of the pocket to extend plays, to give South Carolina a chance, some drops in there as well, he gave him a chance. Now, with that being said, he also hurt South Carolina at times with getting out of the pocket a little too soon because I feel like he was trusting his eyes more than his head, if that makes sense, right? And I think that's natural. It's going to come with timing. It's not Oklahoma. So, long answer. I think what we're going to see with South Carolina today is they're going to make improvements from an offensive standpoint. I was impressed with the defense. I think we're going to see them really tested today, especially that secondary. But I feel like what we'll see with the offense today is improvements, but it's not going to be light years improvements to the point where I feel like they're going to, run Arkansas off the field.
I feel like Rattler's always had that issue where he's always trusted his eyes more than his instinct. Like he's always been like a guy who you watch him and he feels like he's overthinking things a little bit too much. But I'm not super high on Rattler. I'm hoping he has a better game this week. I have to pivot though, as a former long snapper in college, to asking you a special teams question because this frickin' South Carolina team is
Beamer ball, Joe.
It's Beamer ball. As a guy who loves like talking about punt schemes and punt block schemes, I'm the biggest dork on Twitter. If anyone wants to see the stuff I talk about when it comes to punt block schemes, but how much of an impact does that level of attention and intent and aggressiveness help this South Carolina team that like, if this comes down to a close game, like, is there a level of confidence that the special teams could help them win that game? Because it keeps getting brought up, it seems like, with South Carolina.
I was trying to find it because you said,
I thought Thanos snapped his fingers and you.
Well, no, I have. I was raised in a special teams household. I have a book with Frank Beamer when I was younger, and they played
That's
special
fantastic.
teams mainly in college. But I say all that because we just had a video that we posted on Gamecock Central, which is an On3 site. So if you have memberships to any On3, you can be able to check it out. But this is on YouTube. And we were able, thanks to the help of some coaches, we were able to get the all-22 look on special teams, and we broke down what kind of happened on those 2 punt blocks. So
now, Mike, this is on Gamecock Central. You said
this is on game. I'm gonna actually. I don't know.
By the way, did you play with Zach Trenier at Assumption?
Zach Trenner? Yep.
I know
Yeah.
Zach. I used to snap with him. He's a good dude.
But he played with Cole Tracy, the best LSU kicker in the history of
Yeah,
LSU.
he was an assumption transfer. I forgot about that.
That's right. And then
Dude.
Deontay Harris, aka Deontay Hardy, as well.
Oh man,
But I
we're
just
dorking
said
out
that-
too much over special
Mike, by
teams.
the way, he's going to start tomorrow.
He should. It's my guy. Big day. I actually sent you the link, so if anyone's interested in
Okay.
special teams, it's in the private chat. Just a quick little breakdown, nothing too crazy. But I say all that because, look, give credit to Shane Beamer, right? You want to say Beamer Ball 2.0, whatever, fine. The guy that deserves a lot of credit is Pete Lembo. Pete Lembo is the special teams coordinator. Pete Lembo, his one responsibility is just special teams. He's the
And has
associate
been
head
with
coach.
Beamer for 8 years. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like they've been together for a while, right? Even going
They
back to
haven't because Lembo's been a head coach. Lembo's been hopping around.
yeah,
He's
that's
been a
right.
head coach. He's been a special teams coach. He's been at Memphis. He was at he was at Lehigh back in the day, Patriot League school. Did a very good job over there. He's hopped around. Ball State. He was a head coach there. So the thing about Lembo is I've had opportunities to see what he does from a special team standpoint behind the scenes. It's incredible. Really good guy too. So I say all that because when you have a guy that's just focused on special teams, it helps out a lot. But I think the biggest thing is, and we hear about, Beamer Ball again, like I said, the biggest thing that I've noticed with South Carolina is players truly want to be on those units. And people probably, they saw the Beamer video with him hopping down, looking like he just won the golden ticket to go to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. They can make jokes about it. That's fine. As a player, if I'm watching that, I'm thinking, shoot, this guy cares about special teams. That excites me. I want to be playing on special teams. So if other fan bases want to have fun with it, have fun with it. Have fun. I've in college, I played, for 2 different coaches. And that second coach cared about special teams. And 3 guys are in the NFL right now. Oh, no, we just mentioned a long snapper who's a Super Bowl champ. You have an all-pro punt returner, kick returner, and Deontay Hardy, who's going to be starting most likely tomorrow for the Saints. And then you got a cornerback who transferred to South Carolina. Special teams played a big impact. Special teams makes an impact with a lot of these guys playing at the next level. So, guys are doing that at South Carolina. They want to be on that unit now. They want to be. And the crazy thing is, and I put even in that video, the first punt block, they only sent 3 guys to the block point. They weren't really sending too many guys. But what
they GAS. We call it gas on name. They give a shit.
Right.
But you know what's going to happen today? I'm telling you right now what's going to happen. Arkansas is going to want to make sure that those blocks are there. And they're going to stay at the line of scrimmage a little bit longer.
Yeah, Pittman doesn't mess around. But Pittman's the type of guy that he's not going to let that stuff fly.
You watch today. I'm not saying it's going to be a touchdown. You watch today. Josh Vann or whoever's going to be back there in punt returns. You watch. I have a feeling South Carolina's going to have a huge punt return today.
So, Mike, let me transition because I think the biggest mismatch is on South Carolina's offensive line and Arkansas's D line. Look, they got after Cincinnati. I think, and Joe might correct me, I think they have 2 guys that are going to get drafted this season. Like when I watch them, I think that they're that good. Is there one big thing that concerns you for South Carolina in this game versus Arkansas?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say the inability to run the football, because going into last week's game against Georgia State, they knew that they weren't going to be able to have that type of success. Now, look, is Georgia State Arkansas? Is Georgia State an SEC team? No, but they're a very good Sun Belt team. They're a team that will compete for a Sun Belt title this year, if not finish in the top 2 or 3. So I say all that because the game plan was to attack vertically, attack the sidelines. They weren't able to do that from a passing standpoint. Now you go into a game against Arkansas. You can't be one-dimensional. You can't. And I just think back to last season. The issue with South Carolina for a good portion of the season was teams weren't afraid of them throwing the football. So what do? They would have a safety go down the box, and they'd say, throw the ball on us. We don't care. We're not afraid of you. So I think with the Gamecocks right now, teams aren't worried about the pass right now as much. But if they can't run the football, shoot, why bring an extra guy down the box? Because they're going to become a one-trick pony and want to throw the ball. So why put yourself in that situation? So I think the big thing is you need to be able to establish the run. I mean, it's the SEC, right? Stop the run the football. That's what's going to come down to today, in my opinion.
All right, last one from me, and Joe, you can chime into this. Mike, any prediction of score? Do you think how close do you think this game gets, or do you think it gets out of hand? Like, what is your ultimate thought for today? As we're about 30 minutes. No, y'all play a 2:30 game, right?
It is 11 a.m.
Okay.
Local time for you guys, noon Eastern.
So it is in about 30 minutes. How do you see this game going? What's your score prediction? How close do you think this game can get?
Well, I had to go back and look at it because I want to make sure I'm saying the same thing that I did for my my predictions that we sent in for work. 27 to 20. 27 to 20. There's an injury for Arkansas. There's an injury in the secondary today for Arkansas. I expect South Carolina to attack that. A guy to keep an eye on. Look, Jaheim Bell, tight end. He can do it all. He's a tight end. He can go play out on the outside. They can throw the ball to him. He took a couple handoffs last week. Keep an eye on him. But the guy that I really, really like, and he did some good things last week, is Antoine Juice Wells.
I agree.
Wells Jr., a.k.a. Juice. He is a guy that can stretch the field vertically. And if Arkansas is a little banged up in the secondary, and now this guy has a game under his belt already, that rapport is already there. The rapport goes back to the spring because both players were there. Rattler and Juice were already there. I think this is the game. I think this is the game that Juice gets going. But I just don't feel like it's going to be enough ultimately for South Carolina. I think it'll be a rock fight, but I think Arkansas is going to win just because I think South Carolina is not going to be able to be as consistent on offense as they would like to be. But I do feel like we'll see improvements today.
Mike, thank you so much for joining us. Tell everybody where they can get all your content, everything you guys are doing. You know how much I love you.
No, I appreciate it, man. I don't know how much I love this couch I'm using in my freaking parents' basement right now. We got to talk to them about that.
It looks like a couch from like 1982.
And this is what happens. I'm telling people I'm working remote, and I'm not going to save in my parents' basement for the time being. You know? I got two homes. You know, I got a condo right next to Williams-Brice Stadium, which I bought like 6 months ago.
You're living the dream.
All excited to be able to walk across to the stadium, and I'm like 1,400 miles away in my parents' basement today. So you know, the dreams do come true, boys and girls.
Hey, well, I do love the memorabilia. The memorabilia, dude, your house, and then this, dude. The memorabilia you have is like grade A.
The office in South Carolina, that thing is going to be even bigger when I get down there because I got teammates. You know, we talked about some of the guys at Assumption. They want to send down jerseys, so we're going to frame those up. But yeah, my dad, I mean, this is what happens when you coach almost 40 years. Big win last night. Shout out Coach Uva, 49-14. But I will say this. If you want to follow me, Mike_UVA on Twitter. Again, On3, if you're an On3 subscriber, depending on who you follow, there's certain things that will allow you to go check out other teams. I just don't think you can go on the message board, which is a good thing. We don't need different fan bases going on message boards. But that's where that is. And then we have so much content that's coming out on the YouTube channel because On3 is trying to really take that to the next level. We're doing a post game today. We have a call-in number on that. You can find that on Gamecock Central. That's a free page that'll have that number. So we'll be doing that tonight afternoon. Not tonight.
I'm calling
right after the game. Call in. We put intern Joe to the test. You know, we'll see if he's doing a good job. We got former Gamecock quarterback Perry Orth on with us today. So looking forward to doing that.
Thank you so much, Mike. We'll talk to you very soon, buddy.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Mike.
you guys.
All right, that's Mike Uva. Okay.
Josh
Joe,
and Nancy, man.
I know. Well, and we're running late. And so we got to get to Josh Fisher.
As you would expect with a Texas fan, the tailgate that he's got to get to is a little more important than watching the game.
All right. Okay. Well, look, we'll get to Josh next.
Yeah.
I got to ask you this question first, though.
Yeah.
Did you make another drink?
Oh, damn right I did.
Dude.
Long snappers can drink.
Listen, Jenna can get you fucked up within a minute. It happened to me last week, and I told myself
I say we have her on first segment. I say that we let the show go off the rails in the first segment.
Okay.
I got a very disrespectful text from Josh. Uber en route, let me in the cage intern. He called me in.
All right, well, let's do this.
Bring him in.
We got to bring him in. Let's get to him. Josh, are you ready?
I'm ready. Look, here's the deal, okay? Intern Joe.
Hold on.
We're back.
Yeah, we are. You best believe it. Quinn Ewers coming out party. We're getting dirty today, okay? We're going balls to the walls. Your LSU Tigers, Blake, Kelly, first game, extra shriveled raisins for nuts last week, and you know it. He should have went for 2. Texas is leaving it all on the field today. Not even worried about covering. We're winning this game outright. Quinn Ewers coming out party. Xavier Worthy goes for 100 in the air. Bijan, 150 all-purpose yards. Roshan Johnson, tutty. Jatavian Sanders, tutty. Joe DeLeon, bet me if the Horns win outright, he's getting a Longhorn tattoo on his ass, and I will be there when that ink hits his booty.
It's on the
We're
record
winning a
on the
football
show.
game.
As the great little Boosie once said, you talk that stuff about Brian Kelly and LSU. All right, you ready for this?
Yeah.
You want to talk this stuff. If you want to run your mouth, you want some gangsters in front of your house, put me on with Joe. I'll do the tattoo my damn self.
Love that.
There
That's
we
what I'm talking
go,
about.
Blake.
Here's what I'm talking about, Ruffino, and you know this, Ruffino. Let me tell you this, and we're not sponsored. We're brought to you by Copenhagen Mint.
Josh is so mad we had him sitting in the waiting room for so long. I could just
Well, let me say this. Josh,
Yes.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good, Ruffino. Anything for you, baby.
Professional-wise, I am sorry. I apologize.
You're good, cuz. I'm just throwing in a lip, watching my boy on College Game Day. We're chilling. Here's the deal. All I know is
Your swag, I got to give you this.
Yeah,
Your
that's ripped.
swag's on 10 right now.
I wore this vest every game day, never washed, never missed a game day in college. Here's the deal, Ruffino. You know where I was with this vest on?
Where?
What was the best college football team you've ever seen?
Y'all shot that goddamn cannon through a Joe Burrow jersey and he clapped those cheeks.
He did not clap those cheeks. That was the toughest game y'all played all year.
No,
And that's a better football team than this Bama team.
no.
Yeah, what was
no, that is not a better football team than this Bama team. I don't know if I would go that far.
What are you smoking? Hold on. What are you smoking, Joe?
No. You're
How drunk are you over there in Marina Del Rey, California?
I'm not saying this Alabama team's like vastly better than an LSU team, but like you're acting like this Alabama team's a bunch of bums, brother.
They're not a bunch of bums.
You've got a defensive end who might be a Heisman candidate. You can't talk about this team being, like they're like
Best receiver in the NFL, maybe Justin Jefferson, followed closely by Jamar Chase on the ones and twos.
Well, Josh, let me say this though. Let me say this.
Burrow went to the Super Bowl,
They
DeLeon.
were good. They were good for different reasons.
Well, LSU fans are going to kill me on this. Here's the difference. Alabama's more complete than what LSU was because of their defense. Is that
Yes,
fair?
That's my point.
Fine, but Todd Orlando, if he wasn't smoking crack on the sideline and blitzing on 3rd and 17, we would have maybe won that football game. Here's the deal.
No, Joe talked about it. Y'all put his daddy up in the nosebleed. Y'all disrespected his daddy.
Yeah, damn right we did, and I hope we disrespected Bryce Young's family too. This is not a joke, dude. Coming to our house, 20-point dogs. If the United States hockey team can beat the Soviets in 1980, we can fucking win this football game.
Josh, let's be realistic here. Look, Quinn, we talked about this earlier. Quinn, Xavier, Bijan, great football players. You got a bunch of nobodies on the offensive line.
Yes.
You got a bunch of nobodies on the defense.
Oh God.
Who is going to come after Bryce Young? Who's stopping Jahmyr Gibbs? You're going to give up 200.
How many
rushing.
goals in the NHL did Mike Ruzioni have? Lord knows, but he beat the Soviets in 1980, and if he can do that, so can we.
I think it's a little bit different of a battle, brother. This is a bunch of 5 stars against a bunch of bums. You got a bunch of.
It's not about the 5 stars, Joe. It's not about the stars, dude.
Kind of
It's
applies
about
when Alabama's playing.
It's
kinda
about
how
the
that works.
6-star player, the guy who's got the intangibles that you can't see.
All right. In all seriousness, how do you think Quinn Ewers does? In all seriousness, how do you think Quinn Ewers does?
Okay, here's the deal. I said this. Anderson is the best player in college football. No
agree.
doubt in my mind.
I
We all
agree.
can agree there. Get the ball out quick. Don't give him any time to play in the
Easier said than
defense.
done.
Easier said than done, but get the ball out quick. Look, we have Worthy. We have Whittington. And of course, we have Bijan. Just get the ball out and get it in their hands in open space. Get Bijan working in the air. Get him in the flats. We can win this football game. Probably not. Experts say doubtful. But it's hot as all get out there.
Listen, I've never bet on Alabama. Let me tell you what makes me want Texas to lose so bad. These damn Twitter spaces with Texas fans is horrendous. I've never rooted for Bama.
Don't. Why would you root for Bama?
Hey, let me ask you this. From a Texas fan's perspective, does this put a little bit of a measuring stick of you guys entering the SEC? And
here's the great question. It's a great question, Blake. Sure, it does. But you know what? As fans and analysts, we can worry about that schedule. We can worry about the recruits. Let the football players and the coaches worry about one goddamn game, 4 quarters today. Not who's in the stands, maybe being a recruit. Not the schedule coming out maybe in 2-3 years when we go to the SEC. Worry about the football game today. 4 quarters in your house. They are coming in to disrespect you. They're coming for blood.
Damn right.
So let's show them that so you come back and give them some blood. Hit them.
They're playing Georgia today. They're not playing Texas.
Bama is going down.
All right, so let me ask you, because Joe said that he didn't put a bet on for you guys.
Joe is a joke, dude.
If you
What
guys
do we win?
lose, are you gonna get an LSU tad or a Bama tad? Like
Hell no. We're 20-point dogs, Rufino. I'm not an idiot.
He's buying me drinks next Thursday when we're going out. That's
I'm
what
not buying you Squatini. How about that?
Come
Deleon?
on, man. I wagered a tattoo. The least you can do is buy me a beer.
Fine, I'll buy you a beer, you sucker.
All right.
Okay.
okay, I want a 6-pack shipped to my house.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I want a new Bleav hat.
You want a new Bleav hat?
Oh, we got to get one of
You
the
can
fancy
listen.
ones.
I'm not in the merchandise game. You could take that up with Hoostenstam. He's got you a new Bleav hat. over there.
Hit
Or
up Cam
Weinberger.
Rogers.
Yeah, Cam Rogers getting you a new Bleav hat, Rufino. I want some AYS swag. How about that? I'll give you my address.
What? Hold on. What size do you wear? Hold on.
These days, look at this shit, dude. I'm a fucking XL practically.
All right, you want an XL? Hey,
Nah, give me a large, dude. I need a show of the arms. Give me a
I
large.
need the motivation.
Shut up, Joe.
Josh, you know I got to write this down, or I'm gonna.
I know, dude. I love y'all's show. Fucking Rattler's gonna be transferring after this game. Arkansas make him transfer too.
Hey, listen, I don't agree with Yuva. It's not going to be a 7-point game. Arkansas is going to clap those cheeks.
Clap those cheeks, dude. They're going to take him to the Topo Chico factory. Clap those cheeks, bro.
Blake,
Here's the deal. Arkansas on the line is lethal. Pittman's a great coach. Great coach.
You know what he is? He's the opposite of Ed Orgeron.
Fair.
Tell me he's not the O-line version of Orgeron.
He is.
No, he is. He's a football guy. That's what he is. Everyone rallies behind him.
I'm gonna tell you something now. They're gonna come out there. Look, people think Cincinnati's a bad team from last week. Cincinnati's one of the best coach teams in the country. They're gonna go out there and they're gonna beat the shit out of South Carolina. I'm telling you.
Hell yeah.
It's gonna get bad. It's gonna
Hell yeah. I mean, first of all, my mortal lock of the week was Arkansas -6.5 against Cincinnati.
Mine too. They're gonna come out there and beat that ass. Oh, what do we have here? Is that a
all gas, no brakes, baby? Custom hat.
Okay. All right, Josh. Listen, we'll let you out.
He's gotta get to his tailgate.
Are you done with us? Like, you ready to go this?
My Uber's gonna be here in 2 minutes. I probably got to head down, but all I gotta say is this: Blake, you're my boy.
Love you,
Joe. I give you a lot of shit, but you're my boy too.
I'm praying for you today.
We don't need your prayer. We don't need your sorry ass prayers, De Leon. God can't save us. Only we can save us, bro.
I'm praying for you.
Football players, 11 men on the field. Look, we had a special teams touchdown and we had a defensive touchdown, and that's very uncharacteristic of Texas football. And if we get a miscellaneous touchdown in the first half, anybody's game. I'm telling you that.
And well,
Sure.
you better be praying to the fire god from Game of Thrones, because that's the only chance you got, dog.
Little Game of Thrones reference. Lightbringer. We are about to Arya Stark, Nick Saban. Right there, boom. Done.
I love that reference.
Thank you, bro.
But you're about to get Ned Stark.
Yeah,
You're gonna get Ned Stark. You're gonna get Ned Stark.
we might get Ned Stark. Gentlemen, all love, peace, and blessings. Enjoy. Good luck out there.
Drink up. All right.
All right, Joe, you want to wrap this up?
Yes. Ooh, that was chaotic. I love that though. He was texting me out the ass. I gotta get to my party. I gotta get to my day drink. Where he's like, I gotta leave by 8:35. I gotta, because the tailgate's more important than actually watching the game. How much of the game you think he's gonna watch?
Oh, well, that's a big LSU thing too, brother. I
But-
mean, look, that's a big LSU thing too now.
Well, the watch
I
parties
can't
are
do-
big, no, but the watch parties are fun. But my point is that like that's all he's got to look forward to today.
Yeah,
like you're there
because
for
they're
10 minutes and then immediately it goes downhill because
yeah, they're
going
gonna
to
get their cheeks clapped. Look,
Yeah.
Joe, listen. Okay, this is what I want. I'm not gonna put it on the AYS site. I want a Bleav shirt that is sponsored through AYS that says
Okay.
they're getting those cheeks clapped. Like that's what I want.
Brother,
Pooh
I
Bear,
will,
do
get
you
that,
approve?
I will hook that up.
Producer Pooh Bear, do you approve? Should we make a shirt? I don't think he's got his headphones on.
I'm
Um,
texting Cam Rogers right now. I'm going to get that.
I want a shirt that says they got those cheeks clapped. I think it's appropriate in today's society. All right, Joe, let's do this to wrap this game up
Yes.
wrap this episode up because we got about 15 minutes or about 5 minutes. Vandy versus Wake Forest. Listen, let's go down the rest of these SEC games because I'm going to get to you two about your LSU Brian Kelly hate.
Okay.
That's next. Vandy Wake Forest. Listen, I had no reasoning. I took Vandy plus 2.5 wins. I think they'll get to 3. This game's going to be a lot closer than people expect. Let me tell you something about Clark Lee.
Yes.
Clark Lee,
You don't need to tell me about Clark Lee. I know about Clark Lee.
dude, I listen to me. I'm telling you, this game's going to be closer than people expect. What do you? I mean, look, I can't believe we're talking Vandy, but
So I made some nice change taking Clark Lee to cover against Hawaii week 1. Everyone was like, oh, Hawaii covers against the spread in week 1. I'm like, that's stupid. Clark Lee's a good coach. He's going to get his team to rally. They're going to smack Hawaii. No, I agree. This might be closer than people expect, but man, Wake Forest, dude, that is like a weird program that they just get everything behind themselves. Sam Hartman is back. So that's the only thing that they've got working against him. The guy's come back from a medical condition. His teammates, his boys are going to rally behind him to put out a good, a good product on the field.
all right, I can live with that because I still think Vandy is 17
Underrated.
seasons away.
Yeah.
But they are underrated. I'll give you that. At State at AM. Let me tell you something. I wonder if we get a Max Johnson sighting today. Like
You're worried about Haynes?
Greatly, brother. He wears his helmet? Looks like he's old boy from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Dude, let me tell you
He's
something.
got
Joe.
the bubble on.
Well, if there's one thing I know, look,
Uh-huh.
I'm married. I have one kid, another one on the way. If there's one thing I know, it's bad offensive play. Like college football offense is my life. Haynes King is ass.
He's more athlete than quarterback.
Well, yes. Maybe he's not ass. He's not good enough to get them to where they want to go.
Right.
Max Johnson is. I've seen it firsthand.
Yeah, is there a little homerism with that Max
No.
Johnson hype? I know.
No.
I'm just kidding.
No, I mean, because here's the thing. Everybody hates Max around here because
Right.
he transferred.
Yeah.
Max can't do any worse.
Right.
I'm interested to see that. That game's going to be closer than people think.
No, I get the sentiment that my evaluation, I watched both these guys because I don't know why this offseason I was bored and I was so intrigued by like quarterback battles. And I pulled up the all-22 on both these guys. And the determination I got was if you want to have a more explosive offense and Haynes looks good, you go with Haynes King. If you want to be conservative and lean on your defense, which they have a really freaking good defense, Antonio Johnson's a dog, then you go with Max Johnson and you just run the football.
That's what they need to do.
Yeah.
Trying to force the ball down the field is not their forte. All right, last one. For the first time in its history, an HBCU and Southern comes to Baton Rouge. They're already in Baton Rouge. I know Brian Kelly's getting a lot of hate. That game's not on Brian Kelly. Joe, he has to establish. This is more on LSU, dude. As anybody that has covered LSU the most, you can't teach players different things. Meaning,
Yeah.
Joe, it's the same problem from a season ago. okay? They come out, they start playing Brian Kelly kind of football. Your All-American drops 2 touchdowns in the red zone. In the end zone. That's not on Brian Kelly. The guys that Brian Kelly brought in are doing better than the guys that Orgeron left.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you something. The team a season ago, the LSU team a season ago, would not have come back like they did last year. And I think for LSU fans, the way that Brian Kelly managed that last minute, we haven't seen since Saban.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you something. Listen, I mean this as much as the Anthony Richardson thing a week ago. The best thing that could happen to LSU was losing last week. I'm telling you. I know you don't. You're not a big Brian Kelly fan.
No.
But go ahead.
So a couple of things. First of all, watch out on for Southern, man. They won 86-0 against a Cemetery, Florida Memorial. You know they're a little bit of a sleeper here. I'm obviously kidding.
No, you're not. No,
I'm actually kidding. It was just hilarious that they won 86-0 against some an NIAA school. I don't know where that is.
Pooh Bear, our producer, covers the HBCU. Pooh Bear, you ready? Hold on. Pooh Bear. Could a local high school in Louisiana have beat the team that Southern played last week?
Yes.
Yes, they are literally a 1,300. They have 1,300 students. I mean,
yeah, that they literally played a cemetery. Florida Memorial sounds like a cemetery. It's not a football program. I mean, props to them for getting that dub though. It's funny to see. I'm an FCS guy, and I love seeing FCS schools smack around random programs.
I mean, it's a little bit of hyperbole, but yeah.
Joe, we got to Bleav HBCU host, LSU host.
Let's talk after. We need an HBCU show. Seriously, we need to make that happen.
Pooh Bear,
let's talk after.
Pooh Bear, 15% for your manager. Anywho,
yes, Brian Kelly. Blake, I watched too many seasons of Brian Kelly where an important game came up. You know, a game where it was a recognizable program, a ranked opponent, and a game that they should have also won oftentimes. Notre Dame always just looked unprepared. They looked flat, and I felt like I was watching Notre Dame South. That's what I thought I was watching on that game.
Okay.
I got those same senses, those same flashbacks, the PTSD of, oh my God, this is literally the same thing that I just watched for the past decade. And I think the firmest evidence that we have that Brian Kelly cannot properly Jesus, I drank too much of that tea. Properly prepare his teams for big matchups is that Brian Kelly leaves. Marcus Freeman rallies his boys against Ohio State, and they come to at least fight. And Ohio State overmatched them offensively by like big time. And that was only an 11-point game. Marcus Freeman was able to get the job done. Something that if that was Brian Kelly, that would have been a 30-point loss. That would have been a 28-point loss, something along those lines. I'm not saying for LSU fans that you need to freak out now. And I also don't agree with the sentiment of, Brian Kelly went there to get his buyout and so he could retire and all that crap. I think that's a little bit extreme. But you need to be on alert. You need to be on alert after that game. I think you need to at least be worried. He is capable of producing good results, but the fact that you guys haven't even played an SEC game yet and you're already losing, the Florida State's a poverty program right now. Like, that is not a good program right now.
Well, here's the question. Are they? After what you saw?
I am more concerned with LSU than I am high on Florida State. The only thing is Florida State, offensively, they're a mess, but Jared Verse is a dude, and like you guys couldn't block him, and former Albany CAA player. I'm more worried about LSU. It's the optimistic outlook. When you bring in a new coach, and like you're talking about, when you're trying to rework things, it's going to take a couple of seasons. As negative as I want to be about Brian Kelly, it's going to take you guys some time.
Yeah, listen, he can't fix guys that want to continue to do what they're doing, right? Like, at some point, Joe, and I've said this all week, and we'll end it here. You've had Orgeron, you've had Kelly, You've had thousands of coordinators. You've had thousands of different position coaches. At some point, I call it this is what I call it. You got to gas. You got to give a shit. And I think that if LSU has to give an F, you have to give a shit. Okay. Special teams, Joe, you know this as much as anybody.
Yes.
You got to give a shit. And I think that the special teams woes is not more on Brian Kelly versus what he was left. Because if you look at what Brian Kelly brought in, so for example, Jaden Daniels, okay, LSU has weapons. LSU has talent. They got to be able to put their nuts down. And Josh, although pissed off LSU fans, and my DM's already being hit up, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
As your boy said on Major League 2, you have no marbles. You got to go find your marbles. So we'll see. All right, buddy. We have been at this for 2 hours.
Love it.
I'm drunk.
Oh, I'm hammered.
All right. Let's get on out of here. Let's go watch some college football. Until then, guys, my name's Blake Ruffino. This is Joe DeLeon. Wait a minute. Are you Italiano?
Yes, I'm Italian. I'm not French. I'm not a part of the Louisiana crew. No, I'm not.
Are you
it's
Italian?
Italian. Yeah, wait, you're Italian too, Ruffino, right?
Yeah,
that's an Italian. There we go.
Flawless.
Wait, before we can hop out, where's your family from? We got to establish that.
I don't know the exact city. It starts with a V. It starts with a V. I can't ever say it.
Okay.
So like if you have like a big city, like Rome,
yeah,
they're like on the suburbs outside of it, if that makes sense.
Okay. I'm a little more southern, but I know what you're talking about.
No, we have a political atmosphere.
Italian boys take SEC.
True. People want to be Italian until they get shot with a Tommy gun.
Exactly.
All right, guys. We're out of here. See y'all next week. Later.